Boys, even someone like me can spend a little bit too much time fighting in the trenches. The mental health trenches, that is. I found myself getting quite depressed over the last 2 weeks. My channel had gained some momentum, so I felt like I had to, really go all in on the work I was doing. I was already all in on it, but now it was like, okay, all in, like autistic balls to the walls. Use this momentum for good. And I'm really glad that I did that, and I'm glad that I'm continuing to do that now. I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped my work because I've been depressed. I've continued to do it. All of the last 14 to 15 videos that you guys have seen on the channel, like, I've actually been quite depressed. And I wouldn't say I'm burned out, but I would say that I just completely fell off in all other areas of life, really. If you look back a few days, you'll see I've just sort of let myself go. Got like fucking scraggly facial hair, and I need a haircut, and I'm wearing smelly clothes and shit. You wouldn't be able to tell that they're smelly clothes, but I just fell the fuck off, man. Like, I wasn't looking after myself, my hygiene. I went to the gym like twice a week, and the workouts were just super mid, like I just fell off. And with that, the polarization of my relationship fell off as well, which is what really made me realize, okay, this shit isn't sustainable. Because as soon as I start to think that my girlfriend is becoming my fucking best friend rather than my girlfriend, that is when I know there's a serious issue. And it started to go that way. The polarization of our relationship started to suffer, and that is completely unacceptable to me. I have precisely like a 0% chance of ever maintaining a relationship while there's no polarity there. There's no like sexual energy. There's not the strong masculine and the strong feminine coming together in unity. So when I saw that starting to suffer, that made me feel like even worse, and it kind of spiraled from there. I no longer had peace in my house, in my home, because guys, the girl that you choose makes your home a home, and I didn't even feel like I was at peace there anymore. I found myself picking up bad habits again. I started binge eating a little bit. I started to join Discord calls with guys who were just like sat there playing League of Legends and scrolling TikTok, and I'd sort of just sit with them just for the sake of not being alone. Like, it's genuinely like, it's weird, because that's exactly what I used to do when I was like really depressed. And I think in my mind I was coping in the sense of like, yeah, well, if I spend time around these guys, these are the guys who I'm actually really trying to help the most with my videos. If I spend time around them, it's like market research. And to an extent, that is true. I do go through like, very calculated periods of time where I talk to the guys in my Discord server. I listen to my sad music to get me into that headspace, so I'm able to like truly feel these emotions so I can come on camera and be more effective. But I think it went beyond that for me, like joining these Discord calls. Like, it is strange for me because being depressed for me is weirdly familiar and comfortable. I know that sounds kind of sick and twisted, but because I spent so long, such a massive portion of my life there, it feels weirdly comforting to sort of dwell there. But it didn't take long for me to just start feeling very, very like inadequate and bad and terrible, and my relationship isn't working, and I don't feel like I'm able to show up for you guys on camera as good as I could. It's all well and good me being relatable, but I don't want to be relatable in a sense of like I am suffering with this as we speak alongside you, because I need to be the guy who's conquered the challenge so that I can reach my hand down into the trenches and lift you up and show you the pathway. I don't want to be like struggling with it as I speak about it, because that doesn't really make me an authority figure. Like, oh man, it was really bad. It was really bad. And I've been meaning to go away on like a trip away, just sort of tune out of everything, tune out of work, get some time away from my girlfriend as well, to be honest. Like, I've been meaning to do that, and my issue is I really lack initiative in that sense. I'm very happy to just do the same routine day in and day out, and that actually serves me really well, because like I don't care about like beaches and jet skis and waterfalls and all that shit. Like, I'm actually happiest when I'm working, and that's really good for my business. But in times like this, where I'm approaching nuclear meltdown in terms of my sort of life and stuff, and I need to take a step away, that's a big problem for me, because even though things are falling apart, it's like, well, I'm happy doing my same shit. I don't have any initiative. I probably won't book that flight and the hotel on the other place to like, I just can't be bothered. Oh, variables, I can't be bothered. So I just didn't do that, even though I had the intention to sort of do it for a while. And I wish I did take the initiative and just do it for myself before it reached such a melting point for me, because it probably would have prevented a lot of issues. But at the same time, sometimes it's good to see the extreme ends of things so that you know that like, oh yeah, I never want to go there again. I'm going to avoid that at all costs. So I'm grateful, but either way, I don't really take initiative of stuff like that, but it just so happens that my good friend Jack Plant had actually booked a getaway for himself to the place which I've been meaning to go, Koh Phangan, which is the island opposite my island. It's like an hour on the boat. It's a very like hippie, spiritual island. It's built upon crystal quartz or something like that, and that's why a lot of the hippies go there, because that's meant to give you like spiritual healing and stuff. And he actually extended the invite to me. You know, this is a really, really good friend of mine, and he saw that I'd been struggling. I'd been talking to him about it, because masculine friendship, generally speaking, is just like speaking about your issues and then problem solving together. And we had been doing that, and he was like, bro, I'm going away for the weekend. Come with, man. Come with, we'll have an awesome time. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, like away from work. I am like a bit of a psychopath when it comes to my work, guys. I really like being in my routine and showing up for you guys, but I decided, thankfully, like, yes, I do need this. And my girlfriend was actually begging me as well, like, Sam, please, for the love of God, just fucking go. Like, just go. I want some time alone, and you need some time alone as well, okay? So I ended up going, I did go, and I'm really, really happy I went, because it was such an awesome time. We had such a really fucking awesome time, and I've not allowed myself to have fun like that for quite a while, you know? And not some like just brain dead hedonistic shit, like just going away to a different island and partying and stuff like that. We did none of that. We literally just had a really good time on a masculine adventure, going to foreign land which you're unfamiliar with and just fucking figuring shit out. Like, we got off the boat and we immediately pretty much got scammed, because we went to the first person who was holding a sign to rent a bike, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna rent bikes. But then we realized, like, let's rent a car, because a car will be fun. We get to blast our tunes. So they took us to this fucking random ass car shop, just picked us up off the pier, and we got on the back of their bikes, and we got taken to this car shop, and they gave us like the worst car of all time. Just the fucking worst car, bro. Like, oh my God. Really unresponsive, slow as fuck, dusty as hell, terrible car. And we drove that, and we went to go get food in it, and we were like eating our steak. By the way, the only thing we ate on this trip was just steak. We went to the one restaurant which my friend Tom Spark recommended me. It was a steak restaurant, and we ate only there. So I probably ate like 7 or 8 steaks on that weekend. Such a good time. We drove to the steak place, and we sat there, we're like, I don't think we can use this car. Like, genuinely, I don't think we can, because our house is up a really steep hill. If you don't know Thailand, the islands, like, all of the houses, not all of them, but a lot of them are like up these crazy, crazy steep hills. And I don't think this car has enough power, so like, we had to take the car back, and then we had to wait half an hour to like figure out how to speak to the other person. Like, we need another car that can go uphill. Just stuff like that, man. Just like silly adventure, figuring stuff out. And then we got the new car, and it's way better. We've got a Bluetooth radio, because everyone didn't have Bluetooth radio either, so we couldn't even blast our tunes. Stick some fucking like really hard tunes on, some fucking hard funk, and we're driving to the gym. And then we spot a shop actually, which is on our island where we live, where we buy our cigars from. And we were like, oh, perfect, because we want to record a Cigar Sundays, which is out on the channel now. And I forgot to buy cigars, so we stopped there. They have cigars. Fuck yes. And just randomly earlier, me and my friend, we had talked about like Monster Energy, the white cans, and how we haven't had one in ages. And while I was buying the cigars, my friend went to go see if they have them, and they fucking did. Oh my God, we bought 6 cans of Monster Energy. I've not abused caffeine like that for a while, but get back in the whip, blast some 21 Savage, fucking abuse caffeine. Monster Energy's downing them on the way to the gym. So fucking sick. I've not done anything like that for so long, you know. Getting a car is really cool because it's much more social than a motorbike. Motorbikes are really sick for being like the main character, but getting in the whip with your friend, getting on the Bluetooth and blasting some tunes, just priceless, man, priceless. A lot of guys think you need a bunch of money to be happy. Like, bro, just give me like a shitty beat up rental which has a Bluetooth radio with my bro, and I'm fucking sorted, mate. And then after like hyping up to the gym, abusing caffeine, like then, you know, evening hits and we just did like a loop around the entire island. It's not a big island. It took like an hour, but we were just driving, listening to some like, you know, awesome night driving music, like super chill, talking about life, talking about gratitude. Like I was talking about the road that we were driving on. The roads on this island were really cool. And it reminded me, like, on my island where I live, there's this road called Chaweng. And there's, like, clubs along this road. And it's fucking really poorly designed because there's barely any walkway. So you typically have to just walk in the road to get down. And it's really annoying. I hate walking down it. But I actually saw a video come up on my Facebook or Instagram or something. And it was Chaweng in, like, 1980. And it was literally just dirt. It was dirt in the jungle. And there was like these trucks that were going through and it was like fucking the so bumpy and shit. And I was just thinking like, holy shit, man. Like I used to be so angry whenever I went down Chaweng because of how poorly it's designed. But like literally 40 years ago, it was just jungle terrain. And people hit the oil rig in flattening that shit out and making a road out of it. How insane is that? You become so much more conscious of this as well when you are driving through the jungle on a tropical island. Like someone had to flatten all of this out. How insane is that? It reminds me of the guys who used to build all of the world famous cathedrals, the most beautiful buildings you've ever seen. And they would start laying the first bricks to this cathedral knowing for an absolute fact that they would never ever see the finished product because it took like 200-300 years to make. How beautiful is that? Like this sense of gratitude I got just driving through the jungle on these roads. Like someone paved this shit out for us, bro. How sick is that? And then we're still listening to our chill tunes and we're just talking about each other's problems and like potential issues that can come up, and we're just fucking problem solving for each other. Masculine problem solving, like, oh bro, I see you're doing this right now, maybe be careful for this and these potential obstacles, and like, oh yeah, I had this as well. And it's just so fucking like reinvigorating having experiences like that. And then where we were staying, it was literally just in the middle of the jungle, like very remote. We actually got attacked by wild dogs. I'll put a video on the screen of my friend. He got chased by the dogs and he fell over. He didn't get bit, thankfully, but he fucking fell bad. Like he could have broke a bone. Luckily he's a beast. But we're in the middle of the jungle and like it's so peaceful, you know, there's no noise, no bullshit. It gave me this sense of I'm gonna sit outside now and I'm gonna fucking journal and I'm gonna figure out what I need to be doing better to improve my circumstances, because that's what I focus on. A lot of guys, they would have issues in their relationships or their work or whatever, and they would immediately be like, okay, so what can she do better? What do I want from her? Honestly, after thinking about it while in that jungle, I've realized that all of the issues that I was facing in my relationships, with my work, with my mental health, were literally just symptoms of the issue. And the issue was my behavior. So having that peace allowed me to realize that so I could make adjustments to my personality and my day-to-day activities. And that is invaluable. And if there's any learning lessons I want you to take away from this video, it is that if you're really struggling to make sense of shit, literally just take a step back, okay? If you've been working hard, I know for a fact I've been working very hard, okay? You should have absolutely zero guilt about taking a weekend away and having just a fucking awesome time with your boys. You really should not have any guilt. And I'm not saying go out and get pissed, because going out and getting drunk, if I went to that island and just went out and got drunk, that would have achieved absolutely nothing. Oh, Sam, I should go away to escape my problems. Good idea. No. We're not escaping the problems. We're finding clarity. And that requires you to be present. That does not require you to get drunk and banging a 3 out of 10 in Southeast Asia, okay? So, learning lessons, guys. 1, maintain polarity in your relationships. Like, Jesus Christ. I let my hygiene go. I let my gym going go. I no longer was the prize. I didn't feel like the prize, you know, and that's a really big issue. I am the prize. I am the fucking man. I was a bit too present. Do you know what I mean? I was too available because, yeah, I am working hard and my favorite place to work is in the house, but you've got to be very careful for that when you move in with a girl, because if you're around too much, you are inevitably going to fall off in some sense. I can't explain why this is. Someone smarter than me might be able to explain, but I've had tons of high level guys tell me this exact same thing. As soon as they move in with a girl, they just fall off. Even someone like Hamza talks about it in his videos now. It is true. I thought I could maybe be the exception to the rule, but no. Even I, Sam Harborne, Lord of the Trenches, I definitely fell off in some senses for sure. And now I'm very conscious of it. And we'll see how I do now. We'll see how I do. Maintain polarity, have an awesome weekend away, and find mental clarity with one of your bros if you'd like, or alone. And also, just for myself, just being weirdly aware of the fact that like being depressed feels comfortable and familiar to me. And that's actually quite dangerous, and I should actually be very aware of that because it's not a good place to be. And wow, it could have actually fucked up my relationship and my life, my business, everything. So yeah, guys, I hope that helps any of you who might be in a similar position to me. And I also hope that you understand that your favorite influencers who you watch, your YouTubers, or however you want to sort of call us, we have the same issues as you. We really do. I mean, I certainly do. The only difference between me and a lot of other guys is I'm just like autistically honest with you. I share way too many details about my life with you, but a lot of people would think like, oh, Sam, I would talk about this stuff on my YouTube, but it might sort of ruin my persona that I'm putting on the camera. Sure, you could say that for some people. Like, it wouldn't be very good if Tate came on camera and started talking about being depressed or whatever, but that's not what I want my brand to be around. I actually really value the idea of coming on camera and being very candid and honest with you, and I hope you appreciate that, man. I hope that doesn't sort of turn you away from me. Like, oh, I don't want to listen to this pussy who gets depressed. Like, that's silly. It is silly. Boys, if you want to learn how to make money online from the comfort of your bedroom or traveling the world with your laptop, I teach over 500 men how to do exactly that through video editing. And as you can see on the screen, we get absolutely amazing results inside of my academy. You could be next. Take care, boys. We're back! We're fucking back!